Side hustling has been a passion of mine for a very long time now. When I was very young, a lot of those side hustles were not working out. I have tried a lot of things, from livestock to crafts to an online presence, but here are the things that have worked for me. There are some things that have not worked for me. I want to walk you through several things that have and have not worked for me so that way you can learn from my mistakes and hopefully create a sustainable side hustle that's actually going to bring you money without having to put in a million years of effort, time, and money. One thing that's hard for most people to get over the hump of creating a sustainable side hustle is the mindset. For many side hustles, you have to put time and effort in initially in order to build some sort of clientele, get someone to either buy your product or your service, and you have to find people to do that. Now, when you're 10, there's a lot more people who are willing to buy a product from a 10-year-old or a service than when you're 22. I don't know why that is. Why, when I'm cute and young, do you want to buy from me, but now you don't? Just joking. But really, honestly speaking, it's really hard to get over that mindset, to kind of do that marketing, but in a way that's not sleazy. That's what the thing I think is hardest about side hustles, is trying to get over that hump of, I don't want to be sleazy and feel like salesy marketing to people. And yet at the same time, I do want people to buy my services or products or whatever you're offering for your side hustle. What are the side hustles that I've tried and failed at? By the way, I'm Eliana Keller, and I give content about faith, finances, and wifehood. So if that's something that you enjoy, go ahead and give me a subscribe. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this episode so far. Thanks. One of the side hustles that I have tried and failed at is I tried to buy goats. And the great thing about me is I am very good at convincing people, at least sometimes. My siblings, I was good at convincing my siblings. In all honesty, I convinced my siblings to all pool their money together. We would buy goats, we would use their milk, and I was like, great, we'll milk them. Our parents can use that milk, and instead of spending $10 every week, because we got 4 gallons of milk, and back then it was only $2 a gallon, so that was great. We would give our parents the milk, and then our parents would buy the hay, and I figured, hey, they're gonna save a little bit of extra money because hay for goats is not gonna be as much as buying $10 of milk every week. Well, the thing that we didn't factor in with livestock or any type of animals is sicknesses, disease, any sort of variation with a live being is going to have some crazy ramifications, especially because they eat, they get sick, you have to provide medications. We were giving them anti-worming stuff, medication, I guess, I don't know, and it was hard. It was a bit difficult for us to make a profit. We actually had 2 of our goats that we initially bought die. So then we restarted with the next 2 babies. And the whole goal in this was kind of to breed the goats, sell the baby goats. Every single year we get money from the baby goats. Yay, hooray! We're making a profit, which looking at it back now, I'm like, oh my goodness, that would have only been a couple $100s a year for all of that work. But when you're 16, okay, even when you're 16, a couple $100. It's not as much for your work, but you feel more fulfilled when you do something for yourself. Don't you agree? I mean, I feel more fulfilled. If I make even $1 and it's something that I sold and I created, it's amazing. But if I just work for 10 hours and make, I don't know, $100, $200, it doesn't feel as fun. You don't feel as productive and you contributed as much. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Comment down below if that's you too, because I feel like a lot of people who have that entrepreneurial spirit of trying to find these side hustles, they love the creation and the fact that That's what I made. Going back to the goats, yeah, 2 of them died. They died, but we learned from that. We got deworming medication. But the next ones, don't worry, we kept very healthily alive. At that point, I was transitioning to college. We had to sell them all off, and everyone made, I don't know, $8 or something. I actually did negative $18. Actually, no, I think everyone made $2 except for me, which was negative 18. Point is, livestock, probably not going to be a sustainable side hustle. Some people do it though. Some people do it. For me, it didn't work. For the livestock type of side hustle, I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5 because I just don't think that it is the best way that you can make money in a side hustle. But I would still give it 3 stars because you can make money doing it, and depending on the type of livestock, for instance, chickens are probably going to do better than goats because they're much less high maintenance. Honeybees, they're even less maintenance than chickens. They're probably going to do better. So I think that there's specific places and specific times within that realm to do livestock, but I really don't think it's the most effective or most lucrative side hustle that you could have. Side hustle number 2 that I'm going to be talking about that I have tried but perhaps failed at is crafting. Now, crafting is something that a lot of homemakers and women and homesteaders, honestly, if you're getting livestock, you're probably into crafting as well. I don't know, maybe not. But that is something that I was very into, and that was my first ever side hustle when I was very young, probably about 10, maybe younger. But I would like knit things and sell them to relatives. It was very lucrative for me when I was 10. Now, lucrative then, lucrative now are 2 very different things. Not for every side hustle would I recommend choosing the most lucrative option because for some people, you just want to do what you're having fun doing, and sure, you make some money on the side. But for people who are really looking to make a side hustle something that is sustainable for them and brings in a lot of extra money that they can really stock up with their savings for, probably isn't one where you're going to make bank. However, there are people that do. I just think it takes a lot of time, effort for the amount of money that comes out of it. You have to put a ton of time into crafting and knitting and sewing in order just to get your product. However, if you're someone that loves doing it and you're gonna do it anyways, in my opinion, that's a very good side hustle for you. It can be very lucrative. Going to craft sales, I think they're still a thing. I know that we had craft sales as I got older, and that's where I would sell some of our products that I created with some friends. But the time that it takes to make all of those, it's not necessarily worth the money, which is why I'll give that probably a 3, maybe even a 2.5. I put a lot of emphasis on time, so more semi-passive options of side hustles are gonna get a greater rating in my book because I think that putting so much time into something and having very little come out of it is very discouraging. Even if you love doing something, not getting that exciting retribution for it can be very debilitating, and for crafting, I don't think that is lucrative compared to the amount of time put in. Moving right along to the next side hustle. Side hustle number 3 is content creation. This is something that I started to try to build up when I was in college, but I quickly became defeated and failed very quickly because no one was really following me. I mean, family members were, but I would just like follow a bunch of random people and hope that people followed me. I wasn't very consistent at all. I think I only had like 200 followers, and It was very discouraging. I don't think any of them interacted with my content besides a couple friends and family, but it was a good learning experience. Now, content creation in and of itself, like posting on Instagram, isn't going to make you money necessarily. Actually, fun fact, at that time, Reels were making money, so if I had capitalized on that, I probably would have actually made money on Reels. That is kind of the biggest thing looking back. I'm hitting myself for. I probably would have grown a lot faster because back then, like Reels, boom, they would take off like nothing. Nowadays, you really have to work a lot harder. They still will take off, but not as drastically as they were back then. Now, I'm trying the new things, even when it's weird and awkward, and I don't like doing it. In this past year, actually, since last August, I started getting into posting on Instagram, and I primarily use content creation to offer coaching services. I graduated with a financial planning degree in college. I can actually use that degree to coach other individuals about their personal finance, which is something that I love doing, and I was able to do that in college and get that experience, and I got to coach several different college students on their finances. Absolutely love doing that. I started building up an Instagram platform to use for coaching services. Now, I have not had that many clients yet. I think I've had 3, but they've been some of the best, sweetest people, and I am so glad that I got to meet with them. I don't do it where you like have to book me month to month and I have to be a recurring coach. I will have one meeting with you and done, or I can do a monthly thing where I'm meeting with you on a consistent basis. It's all dependent upon what the client wants. Whenever one person books me, I think it's great. I'm like, yes, someone wants to chat with me about finance, and I love doing it. So I've really loved doing that and have gotten a few clients based off of my Instagram from that. Now, am I making bank? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I love this side hustle, and it isn't a super time intensive side hustle. I can create content on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube Shorts anytime. I generally create it super quick. I've got it down to my little science. Am I like blowing up on those platforms? Probably not. Actually, no, I'm not. Not probably, just not. But I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy creating the content for it and getting that knowledge out to homemakers and wives and mothers and people who want to learn about finance who aren't the traditional career woman, but who also aren't the father of the family or the husband of the family. Because in a lot of cases, there's not an overwhelming population of women who are like, oh my goodness, I love finances, it's just so fun. Now, is there people like that? Absolutely. Every time I meet them, we bond immediately. Maybe not immediately because I'm a little bit more of an introvert than an extrovert. I think I'm an extroverted introvert. But we do bond because it is a little bit more of a rarity when you find a girl who enjoys all the little detailed finance stuff as compared to the finance boys, which are very prevalent. Trust me, I know. I studied that in college. So I use content creation more as a way to push that coaching business. Now I am trying to do YouTube here to share some more of the stuff in longer form that I do on my Instagram page and my YouTube Shorts and Facebook. But that has been relatively newer. We're gonna see where this goes. I am definitely not earning money from it right now at all, but I am excited to do it. It definitely takes a lot more time to do YouTube content creation than it does to do Instagram content creation. The Instagram content creation that I do, I really am not huge. I'm trying to reach my first 1,000 followers. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, shameless plug, at homemaker.finance.wife on Instagram. I share content about homemaking, finance, and wifehood, obviously. Also faith. Same stuff I share on here about faith, finances, and wifehood. So be sure to hit that subscribe button I use content creation as a way to kind of leverage the coaching business as of right now. If you need a financial coach, let me know. Comment financial coach below. I would give content creation probably 4 stars out of 5. The reason it's not 5 is because it does take a lot of time to build an audience and to create content, edit content, especially for YouTube. So I do think that that's one negative, but obviously anything that you're going to do is going to be taking some time. I think it's the best payoff based on other people's explanations and things that I have seen. Now, I have gotten paid by Facebook for creating reels, so I have gotten some money, which was like awesome. It was not a lot, but I'm literally like every single penny is humongous to me. Have I not said that already? But I do think in the long run, it will most likely pay off. Plus, it's something that I love to do. I love editing. Okay, maybe not love editing, but I do like editing. I do like talking about the items that I talk about in wifehood, faith, finances, and sharing that with other people and getting to start those conversations.